Got one on. Hi. Go ahead and put your name on the right-hand side so I can see who's logged in. Patrick, I didn't see your assignment. Let me go back and check this other one, comparing and ordering fractions. That was the identifying fractions one. I didn't see your name on there. Turned in. So the assignment we did yesterday, Patrick, I don't see your work. Did you do the Google assignment? Let me see. Patrick, since you're the only one in here, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to show you what I need you to do today, okay? Because there's a couple assignments that you didn't finish. So I wanted to show you where you're going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. All right, Patrick, you're going to go to your Google. You're going to go to your Google class, okay? This is the thing that you haven't done. I've seen you logging in, and I know you're doing Alex and iReady, but I want to make sure you're getting these other assignments done too, okay? So when you go to Google, the Google Math, you see these 3 assignments here. That's what we need to do. This drawing and identifying fractions. In the instructions part, it says what to do. This is a video and you walk through it. And then these are some games to play. But these 2 things are the things that you need to do and turn in, okay? That's the first fraction lesson that we needed to do. I think we did that Tuesday. And then this comparing and ordering fractions, that's what we did yesterday. And I saw you log in and you were with us, but I don't see yours turned in. Okay. So you want to make sure you come in here, do the assignment, and then make sure you turn it in. And then we're going to have this new one today, this equivalent fractions one. You're going to look at some fractions and you're going to decide if they're equivalent or not, okay? So this is the part that we need to do. The games are the easy part, right? But it's just extra help. But this is the work that I actually need you to do and turn into me, okay? Stop sharing. See if anybody else got on. All right. All right, well, let's go through a couple examples of the equivalent fractions then. And if somebody joins us, then hopefully they'll just write their name. So with equivalent fractions, most times they don't tell you what that second number is, okay? Depending on what your problem is, okay? So they might say like 2/4 is equal to blank 8ths, okay? I think you and Javon did this activity with me before we left, okay? So in this kind of problem, when they don't give you a numerator or they don't give you a denominator and you're trying to find the equivalent, you're going to think of 4 times something equals 8. And we know that 4 times 2 equals 8. So whatever we do to the bottom of the fraction, we're also going to do to the top. So we know that 2 times 2 equals 4. So 2/4 and 4/8 are equivalent. All right. And I'm off. All right. Well, I guess I'll continue with the lesson. And if people come in, then great. Okay. Somebody came back in. Go ahead and sign in your name so I know that you're here. Another person in. Go ahead and sign in right here. Put your name over in the chat box. Remember, as you sign in, go ahead and put your name off to the side. Okay, I see Stephen and Patrick. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the lesson. I just started a problem. I think just did one with Patrick before he left. So we'll do another one real quick. So today we're going to talk about equivalent fractions. So as you move through your math learning, you're going to need to know how to find an equivalent fraction when they don't tell you what it is. So if they gave you, Patrick, make sure you're paying attention, okay? The chat is only there to ask questions. We're not really chatting with our friends right now, okay? So let's get back to our equivalent fractions. We're going to do, let's say 2/3 and something sixths, okay? When you have to figure out what that numerator is, what you're going to do is you're going to multiply the 3 by something to figure out what got us 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do again up here to the top. So 2 times 2 equals 4, okay? That's how we would find an equivalent fraction, okay? So we could draw this out in our model, break it into thirds, and then color 2 sections, okay? Still, they're going to have the same starting line, the same hole size. These are thirds, and then we're going to break each third in half to make sixths. And we can now see that 4/6 and 2/3 are equivalent, okay? Today's practice page asks you to find some equivalent fractions. They actually give you 2 fractions, and they ask you if they're equivalent. No, they're equivalent. So Patrick, when you and Javon did this in class, you actually did a really good job with your explanation because you compared your fraction to another fraction, and you figured out how many more you needed, okay? So let's go over to the Google Classroom. I'm just going to go, you can go after we're finished. Equivalent fractions, okay. This is the slide we're doing today. Remember, this is the thing I need you to do and turn in. I put some other things there like videos and games, and those are all good practice, but this is the thing I need you to do and turn in. So I'm going to zoom in just a little so it's a little easier for me to see. Okay, so it gives you two fractions, two fraction bars, right? This one has halves, and this one we can see has fourths. It asks, are there any equivalent fractions represented by the above model? And if you're going to answer there. Here, you need to tell me why they're equivalent, or which fractions are they, and which fractions are they, and how do you know they're equivalent? Like I could say that I know they're equivalent because 2 fourths, a fourth plus a fourth makes 1/2, because these two here equal the one above it, okay? So I want you to use what you already know and can see. The same thing is true about the second problem to the right. And then down here on the bottom, it says write each fraction and then determine if they are equivalent. So here in the boxes, you're going to write the fractions that you see. Tell me if they're equivalent here. And then down at the bottom, you're going to tell me why they're equivalent. How many of what equals the other, okay? Let's go back to our StreamYard. We could stop sharing. Okay. The other thing is the last 2 days, there were other assignments posted. I already talked to Patrick about this, but Stephen, make sure that you're going back and you're doing the assignments that are posted there in Google, okay? Alex and iReady are great practice, and you guys can do those independent, but we still have to keep up with the regular learning that we were doing before we left, okay? So there should be 3 assignments. There's an identifying and drawing fractions, that was on Tuesday. There was comparing and ordering fractions, that was yesterday, and then today is the equivalent fractions, okay? So if you guys still need help, I'm going to go to Zoom, and you guys can log in to do Zoom if you still are confused about what to do. If you know what to do and you want to just go ahead and get started, then you don't need to go to the Zoom, okay? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and I will see you guys later. Bye.